morning, everybody. So great to see all the faces. And I do want to do a shout out to Sabrina and the support team for all the hard work that they put into all that you've seen today. But I'm honored to be with Kelly Zaccaro. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we're going to just get right into this. Let's dive in. Tell us how you got started in real estate.
So I worked in a corporate environment. I was a computer programmer for a few years. I didn't really like sitting at a desk all day. I just wanted to do something different, something closer to home. And I always loved going to open houses and real estate, and I like working with people. So I got my license in '92, I believe, but I didn't use it right away.
Okay, so you took
I
some
was a
time before you.
referral agent. Yeah,
For a
when my
while.
kids were little, I was just having my kids. So I wanted to have it ready to go when the time came.
And what year do you feel that you really kind of dove into it and said, I'm going to just do real estate?
So I left my job in the city, and when I had my kids, I was home for a few years, and then around '99, I'd say, I started to like my oldest was going to kindergarten, started to like dabble in real estate basically at that time.
Great. Can you tell us when you first got started, did you envision that your business would get to the level it is today?
No, I felt like I liked what I was doing. It was fun, but I never thought I would be capable at that time of developing this into like a business like I have. I kind of grew up, I feel like, in the business and learned about like who I was at the same time as I was learning of this new business. So, I felt more confident as the years went on, and it just kind of it snowballed.
And you mentioned that you really liked working with the buyers in the beginning and were maybe a little intimidated with the sellers, like the listings.
Yeah, the first few years I really just exclusively worked with buyers. I'd say 4 or 5 years I didn't really have any listings because I didn't feel confident enough to go out and try to sell myself. I didn't feel I was capable. I felt there were better agents out there. A lot of that was just in my head though. I mean, honestly, I could have done it, but I didn't feel like I didn't feel like I could. And I really feel like that's the key, is believing in yourself and having great managers that really helped me see that, helped me to eventually start to like feel that I was able to do it. And then once I believed I could do it, then I did.
It's about building that confidence.
Yeah, it's all a head game in a
Right.
way. Like if you believe it, if you know your stuff and you believe in yourself, you can do it.
And do you remember a pivotal moment when your business changed, and what was that?
There were a couple moments. I would say around 2010, I became like the head of my household, the primary breadwinner. That was a major turning point for me. Now I had to grow up and be an adult, but it really did. My business doubled that year, and I never looked back from there. The other thing that happened was, I don't know what year it was, probably 2015, 2016, I guess. I got my first assistant. Actually shared an assistant with Liz Lubin. And I was nervous about it. I really was nervous about it. I was scared to pay someone that I was not going to be able to afford it. I was afraid that I wouldn't have enough for them to do. I was afraid that I wouldn't have anything to do. I had a lot of fears. It was hard for me to jump in. So having an assistant that was shared with someone else, I felt, okay, if I don't have any work, I can let Liz, have something. Yeah. And also just feeling like I had to be accountable to someone else was scary. But as I slowly eased into it, I realized what I didn't know about having an assistant was that, you freeze your mind up to be able to do the things that like really generate business. And like, I didn't have to worry about where's that form, like the stuff that Sabrina was just talking about, like that was not my job anymore.
Right.
So
you focus on building your business and not doing the little stuff.
And I think that you really only have a certain amount of brain space that you can use to do things every day. And when you're using it for like filling out, things that you have to do for the compliance and all that, you're really taking away from the other stuff that you could be doing. And so I slowly started to see, it started to become clear to me that, oh, I'm doing more, people stuff. I'm going out. And it wasn't all business stuff, but like it ended up turning into it.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I think those two things were the big turning points for me. And I saw like results.
And you were out there building the connections.
Yeah.
And then somebody else was doing all the small paperwork for you. Discussing business growth and strategy, real estate requires constant evolution and adaptation to shifting markets. How have you adapted your business model, and what inspired those changes?
So like I said, initially it was buyers because that's what I felt capable of doing. Then I was about 50-50 buyers, sellers, like for probably many years, I would say up until COVID.
Okay.
That's when things changed. I started to see like, when I was working with buyers, how frustrating it was
Mhm.
and how you could be working with them for months and months and not get anywhere. And then they would get tired of it and either quit or they would go look for someone else. And I started to say like, sellers are the way to go,
Right.
and so I really focused my business on selling, listings. And I think I was probably 75% listings, and I probably still am. I haven't really looked at it this year, but
Right.
I would say that's where I focus my my sale, like trying to get listings, and of course there are buyers, but I definitely, that's where and I felt that after COVID, really, when the buyers, like, there was really no houses for people,
Right.
that was the time to do that.
That was really important to get out and get the listings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because at least the work you're doing is gonna pay off.
Right.
You're not gonna, and it'll happen pretty quickly. That was the other nice thing about it, a lot of work initially, and then it's pretty easy.
Yeah, and in this economy, the buyers can really drain you, right?
Oh.
You'll be writing offer after offer, and
And also it's an
just really
emotional thing, watching these people go through
Yeah.
this rejections, constant rejections. And really you do the best you can, it's just really difficult.
And what have been your biggest investments for growth?
The assistant for sure,
Okay.
was, a big investment. It was scary. I was always worried about it, years ago, like, is it gonna be okay? Am I gonna be okay? Um, and that was the biggest investment I made initially. And then later on, I started to invest more in like, website for myself. I joined a networking group. There's fees for those things, going to networking events, doing a personal video,
Mhm.
and just started like, just kind of like ramping up.
And then you mentioned something about your staging inventory.
Oh, yeah, so that was the other thing. So, yeah, as I started listing more, I started like, we get the house ready, I start to move things around, but then I'm like, oh, I need a pillow for this room, so we run to Home Goods and buy some pillows, and then, oh, we need like a chair, we don't have one, or let's go buy one, and we would get chair, and then it's like, we had my basement, and Christine's basement was full, full of staging stuff, and it was a pain, so I'm like, let's just get a storage unit. So I got a storage unit, and then I got a bigger storage unit. I'm not gonna get any bigger, I don't think, but we'll see.
So you can pretty much furnish and stage a whole house.
No, I mean, it has to weigh under a certain amount, like
Right.
Christine and I will like have to lift it together into the pickup truck, but we do have quite a bit. And so that's been an investment over time. And then of course I pay for rent every month at the storage unit, but I really do feel like that was like kind of key
Mhm.
to be able to, have what I needed in order to get a house ready. And every now and then we don't have it and we'll go buy it. Right now I have my kitchen chairs up on my listing, so I have no kitchen chairs.
Oh, so you took your own chair.
I take my own stuff out of my house, and Christine does too, and we'll bring it in if we need it, so.
And hopefully it doesn't have to stay there too long, right?
I keep forgetting to pick it up.
So there's a kind of, not, I'm not gonna say a rule, but sort of in real estate where people take a percentage of their income and kind of reinvest it back into their business. And I think they say somewhere about 10%. Is that something that you do, like reinvest back into your business?
I definitely reinvest in my business. I don't really calculate it. It probably in that range somewhere, but
Okay.
I kind of do it basically intuitively. I know my budget at home, and I know kind of what I have available, but I enjoy like doing those kind of things because I feel like it really does help. I feel like, the more you do, the more it comes back to you, even though investing seems like an expense. It's really not an expense because you will make more money, you will do more business. So it ends up being a positive in cash flow, but it is a little bit intimidating to do it. I definitely think that investing in yourself, investing in your business is, you have to get your name out there.
And you do feel like anything you've invested, you always seen a return on.
I mean, not everything,
Mhm.
that's the other thing, you can't be perfect,
Right.
and I've invested in things that didn't do anything,
Mhm.
they just fell flat. But I think that's all part of it, you're never gonna be
Right.
right all the
Right.
time, and sometimes you have to try something to know whether it's gonna work. Sometimes it doesn't resonate,
Right.
like I've tried different things like CRMs that I just didn't use.
Mhm.
I've tried, things that like just didn't resonate with me, my way of doing things, and I think it has to work for you.
But not having the fear of spending the money.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that spending money, even though it can be scary, is like, as long as you're doing it, we have to be within reason in your
Right.
budget, but I think it's key. You do have to do it. And if you want to move forward and like get to the point where it becomes like it's a tipping point
Right.
where your business starts to just, it's almost like rolls down the hill on its own.
Yeah.
You know, when your name is out there and people see you and you have all those reviews online, so people find you without you like trying to like put yourself out there.
Right.
But that takes a long time and a lot of investment in time and money.
Yeah, and it's key.
It is.
It's really key. We're gonna dive a little into marketing and branding. Do you attend like networking events, community events? What's your participation in that area?
So I do go to networking events. I've been to the GNE many times. I'm a member of another smaller networking group within Sotheby's that I do like try to get to all those when I can. I think they're really great for referrals. I've gotten lots of referrals, more and more as the years have gone on.
Right.
Also locally, I'm involved with certain things like the Count Basie I've been involved with, Lunch Break, 180 Turning Lives Around, different organizations. And I base that on like what I'm passionate about, what I feel like is important.
Right.
And I don't really think about it as like work and business. Like, I mean, obviously if I sponsor something, I'm gonna get an ad in the
Right.
journal or whatever, but it's more about just like being there for the things that I care about, you
And
know?
they're face-to-face connections,
Right.
right? Where
Yeah.
people, you get to meet new
Exactly.
people, they see you're passionate about the same things they're passionate about. And I don't think we think it's business right away, but it does end up turning into some
Yeah.
kind of business. And I know you love skiing, so you do a lot of the ski GMEs, right?
Yeah, so there's a ski any every couple of years that I've gone to
Right.
every year they've had it. I love
Mhm.
going 'cause it's fun. We get to ski together and that's a real bonding experience.
Right.
Plus I love it. So
Right.
I know people all over the West
And
that
that's turned into referrals for you.
it has.
right?
And I also love when I go out skiing, I can take a few runs with people. It's
Right.
fun. Yeah.
Right. We've talked about preparing a property for sale with your staging. That's your signature approach. Is there anything else that you would add to that aside from really taking the time to stage the property? What other things do you do?
I really try to like look at the property as it like, every property is different and
Mhm.
everything needs a different level of marketing, different type of marketing. And really I do the most I can do for each property. Like I will spend money on a property. I used to be very careful, like, looking at the prices of photos and trying to make sure I was, not spending that much, but I don't do that anymore. I mean, of course, it's within reason, but I look for if the property, requires something, more elaborate, I will do it. One of the things I've realized from actually not, I didn't know until I did it, was that when you do something like a great video that is, like, I don't know, really like attractive or people watch it and you get a
Yeah.
lot of attention, that will get you the next listing. It will help sell that property and it will get you the next listing because people see it and they say, I want that for my house.
Right.
So when you spend money on a listing I also like attend all the showings. I'm there. I don't crowd people, but I want to be there to answer questions, to show them the important things about the house. I feel like those are the things that really help sell the house. But like the video, I think is really in this market is key.
And it sounds to me like you're really not afraid of putting hard work into it.
No.
Because you said, I go in there with my sweats on, I get the house ready,
Yeah.
do what I need to do, clean things out, set it up. But also being there for every appointment. And I think that's a really important thing for the agents to know, that when you have a listing, you know the details about that property more than anybody else walking in there.
Yeah.
And that you can share that and then transfer that information over to the buyers.
The other thing, when I stage a property, a lot of times people are very hesitant to let me do that. They're like, don't understand it until you start doing it. The
Yeah.
day you're there, the first day, you start moving things around, they start seeing, oh my God, they feel like lighter, they're decluttering. It's like they love their house and they get excited about it. Also realize like you've done everything you can to get that house sold. And so when time comes, if for some reason it doesn't sell, like it's much easier the objections to be able to argue the objections, like, if it's overpriced.
Right.
Because now they've seen the transformation and they know that they're still not getting offers. So I just feel like it helps all around and it gets them excited about it.
Right, and if you presented the property in its best light, right, and it didn't sell,
Yeah.
then obviously the price needs to be adjusted, it's
Right.
easier to have that conversation.
Absolutely.
Right. You did mention investing in video marketing. Tell us a little bit about the benefits of that and how you've seen that.
I did my own personal video, which was really hard to do. I don't really like being in front of the camera. I'm working on that. But that was great. Just I have it on my website. Like I've shared it. I think people go there and watch it and get to know who you are without even knowing you yet. In terms of video for individual properties, I mean, there's just so much going on in that, like, they're just becoming like little movies almost.
Right.
It's not like just going through a room and like, showing the house. It's like, there's like special effects. People are doing a lot of on-camera stuff, which I haven't done yet. I'm going to do that eventually. But I really feel like you have to be in that.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to almost be like an influencer,
Real estate influencer.
I mean, I don't, that's not my goal, but it's almost like you have to think of it that way because you want it to go viral, sort of, I mean, in like a local way.
Right.
Where people, even if it's not a house for them, if it's people are watching it, more people will watch it.
Right.
So it may get to the right person at some point. And plus it shows all those hits on your website, it shows hits on your listing, people see it. It's a good thing all around for your business, for your next listings, for have.
And I think the consumers really enjoy them.
They do,
Yeah.
they're fun.
Yeah.
And I started watching like younger people, like what they're doing. And that's kind of what I think is gonna come, in for us,
Right.
in real estate. That's kind of how I get my ideas.
And how do you differentiate yourself in such a competitive market?
I mean, doing the things I talked about, the staging, the being at all the appointments. And then the other thing that's really important is like reviews, like Zillow, Google reviews. I really try to get people to do them because I think that I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me and I asked where they came from and they say they went on my website, they read all these reviews, or they go on Zillow. That's how people choose their agents.
Right.
I mean, and so it's important. It's really important. So it's hard because sometimes, when people close on a house, they're so busy and they, you have
And you almost don't want to bother them.
yeah,
but
like you
it's
have
really
to a little
important.
bit, and you have to get them when they're still excited.
Yeah.
It's like when they're like really happy before they move almost. I don't know. There's like different strategies to how to get them to do it.
Right.
I just keep asking and
Yeah.
eventually they do it. And I honestly, it happens to me. I want to write reviews for people and I get busy, I forget. If they ask me a couple times, I'll do it.
Right.
It's not like I don't want to, it's just I forget. And so they do too. And I think, but that's super important because that's how people will decide whether you're gonna be their agent. I mean, I think that, and then, I mean, I think just being authentic and honest with people and kind of telling them the truth. Like, if they believe you,
Right.
they're gonna trust you, they're gonna wanna work with you, they have to feel like you care about them.
Mhm.
And you really have to care about them. You
Right.
can't pretend, you have to really wanna help
I
them.
think people see through that.
They
right?
do, they see through
Right.
if you're just trying to get a sale
Yeah.
versus like really wanting to help them.
Yeah.
And get the most money for their house or help them find something, whatever it is your role is.
I think that's great. Regarding technology and tools, tell us what role has technology has played in your success and what tools and innovations you use.
So I was a computer programmer, like I said, and so I liked that kind of stuff. I have fun learning new technology. So I mean, I have a website that I update a lot. I have all the town information on there. I try to make it look like really pretty to look at. I put video, so I use technology on my website. I've tried a lot of things that didn't work in the, technology area, but I do advertising on like social media. I use ChatGPT all the time. I mean, I like this new iteration that we have for the company that sounds like it could make things a lot easier.
Definitely.
But I do pay for the premium, so I can, you can do a lot more with that. It makes sense to do it. But it helps you to, it simplifies things. I feel like it helps us to like write better content and then you have to tweak it though. You can't, ChatGPT says. I mean, I feel like it's important to like make it your own.
Yep.
But I'm always looking for new technology to try to, increase like, your productivity. And I think that like seeing what people are doing, the younger people, like it's a really good way to know like what the next things are.
And what the direction of our
Yeah.
industry is going in.
Mhm.
Exactly. You did mention blogging as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I write a blog every quarter. And I write that, it's really, I don't use like anything, like I don't copy and paste. I really just think about like what's going on
Right.
right now, like what do I need to talk about? Sometimes like I've written about like Netflix, I've written about like the market, depends, whatever's happening, I'll write about. And it's like real, like my like analysis of things. I mean, of course, I don't know what's happening, but what's going to happen, but I say what I think. And people read it, they tell me, they read it, I mail it out to 1,000 people, I think.
That's
I have
a lot.
and it's a big
Yeah.
postcard, like, 8.5 by 11, it costs a lot of money, that's another investment I make.
Right.
And I do that every quarter, but you know what? Consistency matters. And I think people see that you're still there and you're still doing it and you're still sending them things and they go, well, I can't tell you how many people have said to me, I love your newsletter. I love that you send it out quarterly. Like,
And
I
they look
read it.
forward to
Yeah, they read it.
Right.
And I actually have a friend who's in marketing and I was talking to her about, my emails and I looked how many were open. I told her and she's like, that's amazing. And I think when you write good content, people want to see your emails.
Absolutely.
You're not just sending them spam, you're sending them something important. So
Right.
like writing your own things and having it be from your voice, I think really matters.
Do you use Active Pipe as well?
I do.
You do.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
great. So
I do.
you touch your clients with that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Regarding professional development, how do you stay ahead of the market trends?
Um, I mean, I obviously go to any like the trainings that we have that are about what's going on or what's coming. The office meetings. Watching like TikToks of like different agents, what are they doing? Like what's happening? Kind of following, like reading, reading things online about like, National Association of Realtors, the news. I just try to follow what's happening, the trends, like, what's the other
YouTube, I think you mentioned.
yeah, YouTube, but there was Inman. I have a subscription.
Yeah.
I read a lot of that. They keep up on what's coming kind
Right.
of situation. So yeah, and I kind of, it's different everywhere, obviously. Our market is different than other markets.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, honestly, if you look at the news right now, it seems like it's all doom and gloom, but like as we know, that's not happening here. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's like just intuition and following your gut as well, like what's coming, because you can feel it.
And how do you see social media and AI playing a role in your business?
I mean, I think social media is huge. I think it's a good way to keep in touch with friends, family, and business.
Right.
And I think it's just like little touch points, like you say, happy birthday, congratulations. And it's nice to see people that, you sold them a house when their kids were little and now they're getting married, which is scary.
It's a
But
great way to interact with
is.
people, right?
And I
Even
feel like
if you're not doing a lot of
And I feel like
yourself.
it feels like you're still like, you're not like, you didn't forget about that person, right?
Right.
And I think it's important. And I think that ChatGPT, I just was I was telling you earlier that someone reached out to me, a new buyer, and I said, how did you find me? I always ask. And they said, we asked ChatGPT who the best agent was.
That's a whole new thing now.
It is.
Right?
And I said, really? Wow, that's wild. I mean, I'm like, how did ChatGPT decide that? Anyway, whatever, I don't care. So I went on and thanked ChatGPT. And I said,
I
"Please
think
keep doing that."
everybody needs to go and check what ChatGPT says about that,
Yeah.
right? Like just to see what it says.
But I do think that like,
But that's probably a younger generation doing that. Like
I mean,
that's their resource.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm always on there, and
Right.
maybe it just likes me. I don't know, but like I'm
Keep
always
doing
asking questions, and maybe being on there like helps to like
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great
It's
tip.
pretty interesting though.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
How do you invest in your own skills and growth?
I always like I kind of keep a mindset of like growth. Like I don't want to like get stuck. It's easy to like not want to change, to keep things the way they were because things, you get used to things the way they are. You don't want to do anything different. Like it's been hard, like all the new rules, with buyer
This past
agency,
year, right?
and sometimes it's it's like, oh, I knew what I was doing. Now I have to do something new. It's almost like parenthood when your kids get to a new stage,
Right.
and you have to learn a whole new way of
And
doing
adapt.
things.
Right.
But I try to keep like an open mind and like a growth mindset. And I think I just want to learn and I want to like make things easy and try to like follow the flow instead of like fighting it.
I think we need to continually adapt and grow.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, I think just like in general, like working on yourself, excuse me, and being like, trying to make your life like more full in all areas, not just
Right.
work.
Right.
I think like that makes for a balanced life and people, you're a happier person. And I think when you're a happier person, people want to be around you. And when they want to be around you, they want to work with you.
Absolutely.
So I kind of feel like it all feeds together. So like, personal growth, taking care of yourself, eating, sleeping, exercise, vacations, like all those things are important.
Super important. Well, we talked about daily habits.
Yeah. Daily habits. Well, I mean, I
Exercise,
exercise,
taking care of yourself.
right? Trying to be like,
Mhm.
trying to be mindful, stay in the moment and not be on my phone every minute.
Perfect. So looking ahead, what technologies or strategies are key to business today? If you had to tell somebody about what should they be doing?
I mean, I think I touched on most of them already, but like ChatGPT, social media, just keeping up with the young people. TikTok is kind of a good way to do that.
Key to have a database.
Yeah, you have to
Even
have,
if it's not super tacky.
you have to have a database. You have to
Right.
know who your clients are. And I also write like every year I write like a card to them and I give them like a little gift card for their anniversary
Mhm.
of their buying their home. So just keeping in touch with people, but that, I think there's, going back to basics is always a
Yeah.
good thing. I don't think that that will ever change. It's all about connection and, having like, you be the person that they're gonna call. Like I have clients call me after 10 years asking me, actually had someone calling me. I sold the house in 2012 and they called me the other day, asked me about taking the pictures down from the listing. But like they still call me, you know what I'm saying? Like after
And do
all
you
those
feel
years.
like you become a resource to them?
Yes.
Like, hey, you know what, Kelly, we need a plumber, we need
Yes.
an electrician.
Yes.
And it's great that they do that, right?
Yeah, because they feel like, even though you don't, it's kind of like a friend that you don't see
Right.
that often.
Right.
But as soon as you get together, you feel like you've never been apart. I
Yeah.
feel like that with a lot of people. And I think part of it is social media because you do see each other's lives a little bit on there. And you
Right.
feel like you're involved even though you're not.
Yeah. I want to wrap up with one question. What do you see for the future of your business and the industry overall?
I mean, I think that it's gonna be heavily listings, like for people that wanna, be consistently, doing business. Focusing on listings is the way to go. I mean, it's just, of course, buyers are out there, we're gonna work with them, but to try to focus on listings because it's a rough business if you're only working with buyers right now.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, a lot of heartache, and a lot of effort that doesn't really get paid.
We've always said that,
Yeah.
right? To survive in this industry, you
Yeah.
really need to be a listener.
and more than ever now.
Right.
What was the other part of the question?
Just the overall.
The overall, like, I just see it being I don't see this market changing, like,
Right.
for us, like, cause there's just so much demand here.
Yeah.
And not enough places for people to live. So I think that, it's competitive. I think that there's a lot of people coming into this area to try to work. I think just, I think being in the business consistently, doing work, good work, getting good reviews. I think they want to work with someone that cares and they want to work with someone that's good.
Yeah.
So if you can show those things, you're gonna get the business, whether they have the next flashy person comes around or not. If you're here and you've been here for a long time and you show up, you're gonna get the business. So I think it's just being there, being consistent, and people expect a lot more than they used to. I think you have to raise the bar on what you're willing to do.
Yeah.
That-
Any advice to a new agent, somebody who just got licensed?
I would say like work with someone that's experienced, like have a mentor because it's really hard to go out there on your own.
Yeah.
Right now. I would say, maybe even be an assistant to someone first for a while to learn the business, to kind of grow into it. I was fortunate when I went into the business, like I didn't have like, I wasn't a primary breadwinner, so I was able to like slowly grow into it. But if you're not, it's difficult. So to have some kind of income coming in, working for someone else, being on a team,
Right.
learning the ropes, and then eventually, like growing in your own business or like confidence that you could do it on your own. If
Right.
that's what you want to do.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kelly, for being with us today.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate all of your insight and knowledge.